different instead. Like, see here, look, here's the rock, here's the symbol. If I can press the button on the symbol, nothing's happening, because this is not the first rock. We need to find the one that looks like a floppy hat. I kind of, these are all Jundar symbols, and I don't know if they actually mean anything in their language of origin or whatever. But, yeah, see, this one kind of looks like a farmer's hat with a little tail on top. So, this is the floppy hat, and this is the first rock. Up goes the thing. Now we go back down and awaken the light. But anyway, yeah, alright, the rank 10 spells. The ones I ended up going with are Brilliance, Strength, Photosynthesis, and Spirit Shield. I was tempted to go with Dexterity, but I felt that would be too broken. This is the wrong tomb. This is the confusing part, trying to find the correct tomb after you found the correct rock. No, it's not that one, that's the snowflake. But yeah, I wanted to move those scrolls around so that they were on drop charts that were fitting for them. And I actually ended up making it such that you would counter one each of these scrolls through the course of the adventure. So even if you don't find them off of drops from monsters, you can still get one each of them. Like the scroll that Oriana gives you in the forest is now a power scroll, which is strength cast at rank 10. And I put the scroll for brilliance on Namer's Isle in one of her dog's chests. It's a chest that you can only open once, so you're guaranteed to get exactly one copy of it. And it might actually be really useful for the chaos fight that happens there too. Up, see? It's opening. Whoa, creepy. I'm going to save before I do this. I don't remember what all my guys' gimmicks are, but we'll go over them as we do them. For now, let's talk to the guy. Who disturbs the resting place of Behrooz? Who discovered the surface key which opens my grave? It is I, Alaron, tamer of the Jundar King, solver of riddles. Then riddle me this, O great and mighty Alaron. What item of power is yours in the alcove, if you best me? There are no legends about any items. Indeed it is there. Helm of the Spirit Drake, a gift from the dragons. See if you can deliver me at last, and it is yours. So here's Behrooz. Oh, and on top of giving them all their own spell loadouts, I decided to give them all some fairly interesting and unique equipment. As you can see, Behrooz here is wielding Breckler's Fire Staff, which means he can cast Dragon Flames. And Behrooz' whole gimmick, well, let's see if he even gets a turn before I totally annihilate him. Take that, Behrooz. Yeah, you're nothing. You're garbage. Will you even get a turn to cast? Maybe not. God, they're so slow. Maybe I should, like, waste turns to let them get to do things. Go ahead, Behrooz. Use a move. Aw, he can't. I wasted all his stamina. So, in the original game, there's this hidden item called the White Shield. All of the Barrow Wights have it, and it kind of just gives them some extra defense and stuff, even though it means nothing because they're total pushovers, even now, clearly. But what I decided to do with it was I put Mirror on that shield, so that all the Barrow Wights now have Mirror, and if they can get that off, that will help prevent them from being susceptible to trapping spells. And then you kind of have to actually confront them. But as you can see, they're just too slow. They didn't get to move at all. And I do recall Behrooz' gimmick is that he has all the Dispel moves. So, like, he leads with Mirror, and then he starts spamming Dragon Flames at you. Oh. I hear something walking around. It's a Skellington. Anyway, he starts spamming Dragon Flames off of his staff, and if you try to cast any spells to help you in fighting him, well, he just dispels them. That's how he rolls. And that's Bruise's whole shtick. But he didn't even get one turn without me letting him, so they're very clearly going to need a dex boost. Although they already got one anyway. Like, just part of me making things immune to clumsiness resulted in him having 21 dexterity by default now, so they've got that going for them at least. We'll see if it matters at all in the next version. I need to cast Light. Oh, but there's wraiths out here. Maybe she can do it anyway? Nah, she can't do it. Anyway, while we're in the middle of this random encounter, back to the rank 10 scrolls. So we've got the Brilliance one on Namer's Isle, and Oriana gives you the one for Strength. I put one more in the Ogre Pit, where you find the Wizard's Hat on the Road to Tailwalk, yeah. And that's a one-time treasure chest, I know for sure, because there are no other treasure chests you're guaranteed to get a Wizard Hat out of. The one I put there was, I called it Safeguard, and it's Spirit Shield for everybody. Oh, and I ended up switching it so that Spirit Shield is the one that increases by rank, instead of the one that affects everything on the field and you have to maneuver it out of the way. That honor went to Starlight Shield instead, I think. Or did I put it on Air Shield and say deal with it? I think I put it on Air Shield, which has the biggest ring and therefore it's the hardest to move out of the way. But whatever. So yeah, we've got those 4 scrolls, and those, and the fourth and final one is called Beacon. It casts photosynthesis, and fittingly enough, it is the Lighthouse Scroll. The interesting thing about that one is that photosynthesis is a very powerful spell, and you need to be a rank 7 wizard to learn it. Chances are you're not going to be a rank 7 wizard by the time you get to Port Said, and if you complete the Lighthouse quest before you use that scroll, you lose it. So you've either sunk a lot of experience or done a lot of grinding to become a rank 7 wizard in order to learn photosynthesis that early, or you put that scroll to another use before you deal with the Lighthouse. And as it so happens, you get that scroll right around the same time where you would have to worry about the fight with the Chaos Monsters at the bridge. So, that's like the perfect place to use it, right? Just bust out the Beacon Scroll, and you've got rank 10 photosynthesis on all your buddies while you're just hammering away at the Chaos guys. I think it worked out good. Where's the other Wraith? Okay, there it is. It's kind of like blending in. As they do. Nice. What else? What else was there? I ended up making some solar and lunar counterparts of things. Like, it occurred to me that the Marquee Amulet, now known as the Devil Amulet, is kind of cheapened by the existence of the Control Marquee spell. It's like, if you got the amulet, you don't need the spell, and if you got the spell, you don't need the amulet. And out of those two choices, I would rather that the spell be useful than the amulet for that purpose. So what I decided to do was to turn it into a counterpart to the Shriveled Heart, formerly Erlishiva's Heart. Basically, that was an item that was lunar and let you cast Crushing Death, so I turned the Marquee Amulet into a solar amulet that lets you cast Soul Reave. So it's like a naming solar counterpart to the lunar necromancy amulet. And I feel like that gives it more reason to be used. And apart from having the spells in them, I also added a couple skill points to them. Like, the Devil Amulet raises Warrior now, and the Shriveled Heart raises Thief. Only by 1 point, but I wanted those items to have more reason for you to use them, because they kind of just didn't before. And speaking of items that didn't have any reason to be equipped before, the Butterfly Amulet that used to be solar is now no aspect at all. So anyone can use it to get the intelligence boost that it provided. So it's kind of like a counterpart to the ST gem, which boosts your strength. And anybody can use either of those, but I did lower both of those so they only boost by 3 instead of 5. I feel like that balanced out the amulets a little bit better. Another solar-lunar counterpart I ended up doing was in the belts, because there was always the Belt of Life that was solar aspected. You couldn't equip that if you weren't a sunny fella. Oh man, they're doing the thing again. Well, let's see. What was it? Oh, they're trying to... Wait, what is he... Why is he casting Dispel Necro? Who's benefiting from necromancy right now? I have no idea what this white is up to right now. Anyway, the belt I decided to make lunar is the Reflection Belt, which has rank 10 mirror in it. I didn't know it was rank 10 before, I just knew it had mirror in it, and mirror is kind of a big deal. I was like, if you're gonna have that for free, well then, you ought to be lunar. You normally don't find the Reflection Belt until the Dragon's Den, and I'm pretty sure I didn't put it in any stores. It's just that busted. If I did, shame on me, it's not something you should be able to buy. The only enemies that drop it now are the Shadow Bandits, so if you fight them, you have to get lucky, and you also have to have a lunar if you even want to use it at all. I felt like that was fair for one of the most broken spells in the game. On a freebie, spammable item. Stupid plague zombies. Eh. So yeah, that's what I did with the accessories. And I already talked about how I did it for the elemental armors. There were a couple others that I added aspects to. The Dryad garb is now solar, and oh, what was it? What did I make lunar? Ah, the Reaper cloth, which you get off of wraiths very rarely. Both of those have some pretty decent bonuses to them. The Reaper cloth, I don't think we've actually encountered it in this playthrough, have we? It went through a few iterations, but what I settled on for the most recent version is that it lets you... It makes you immune to physical attacks, but it makes you more susceptible to magic by lowering your willpower. So in that way you become like a wraith, where they were never affected by physicals in the first place. But in Aidyn Plus, I made them more susceptible to magic because I always thought they were kind of a pain to take down. So now you can be just like them by wearing their armor. Isn't that nice? Sure, whatever. It wasn't the only armor that changed, either. There were a few things I ended up trying to do. There's now one armor for each type of resistance, and I added a tiny willpower bonus to the Chaos armor, I believe it was. Because it's supposed to be some of the best armor in the game anyway, and it was kind of paling in comparison to other things. What's more important here? Your health? Everything's important. Let's get your strength up. Yeah. Your swordsmanship's already really good. I don't know why she's having trouble hitting things. Maybe just not high enough level? Can we get you max intelligence too? Aw, not quite. Yay. But yeah, I ended up doing a bunch of stuff like that. Like, making sure there were armors that, for each resistance, and armors that boost certain stats and things, and blah blah blah. Tried to vary up the armor pool so that it's a little more interesting. A little more meaningful choices you can make with the armor you wear. I did my best to avoid changing them too much, because I avoid changing things in general if I don't feel like I have a good enough reason to do so. But there were some armors that are just, like, totally useless, even in the original game. Like, for example, Beast Hide armor. Even though it's something you can craft, there's no reason to ever do it. This is not the rock I want. Because it's like, it offers 2 protection for a reduction of 2 dexterity, which makes it worse than leather armor by 1 point. So there was never any reason to have Beast Hide. Now it has no dexterity reduction. So it's like actually almost worthwhile maybe in the early game to make before you get your hands on anything better. Oh, there's a Wraith. Hey, Mr. Wraith. Look at you traipsing around out here. You're so lonely. Don't do that, man. Come on. I know you enjoy the nightlife, but it's really inconsiderate. That's what I'm trying to say. Hey. If Brenna casts light, they're just going to cast darkness again. So anyway, I looked at my armors and I tried to set them up so that every armor has a different stat balance, no matter what it is. And they range from 1 protection for no dex loss, up to 14 for -3. The penalty is never more than 3, but there's like 1 armor for each type of that sort of thing. It's kind of hard to explain. Like, you can imagine them in sets of 4. Like, there's the armor that offers 1 protection for 0, 2 for -1, 3 for -2, and 4 for -3. And then you go up a block and it's 2 for nothing, 3 for -1, 4 for -2, 5 for -3. So that the best armors available always offer the biggest penalty to your dexterity, and the weakest ones let you move the most quickly. All the way up to Chaos Armor for being 12 and nothing, which technically makes it the best in my opinion, because dexterity is more important than protection. But it's also up there with other powerful armors like the elemental armors and whatnot that offer more protection for minor detriments. It worked out, is what I'm trying to say. So I did that. Is there anything else different between that one and this one? You know, probably not. I feel like that about covered it. Which is both bad and good, because it's bad because I don't have much to talk about for the rest of this battle, but it's good because then I can shut up and focus on this puzzle, because it's just problematic enough that I could really use to focus. Try it again, Brenna. We need to scare these zombies away. They'll take too long to kill them otherwise. Yeah, now she's getting them. There you go. Run away, zombie. Run away. Shall I go over there so that the zombie will run away more quickly? Woohoo. I think the reason they made it so that Cholet can't use a shield is because that little feather thing on the side of her arm kind of goes through the shield. But I don't really care about that. Aidyn's already kind of a janky game. You think I'm gonna not let her use a shield just because it looks slightly janky? Oh, look at this guy. Not giving up, are ya? Fine. You have chosen death. So has this one, apparently. They're all fighting. Why? Why are they so brave today? No. Plague zombies. Stabby. I'm gonna kill you in 1 hit. Aileron's so strong. Yes. Okay, Cholet, it's all up to you. No one's going to help you. We're all just going to stand here with our thumbs up our butts while you fight this plague zombie. We can't be arsed to run over there and fight your battles for you. I guess Brenna could technically help. She doesn't have to move too much. Yeah, she can be like, yeah. Decent damage. She might finish it for you. Are you proud of yourself, Chalet? Making Brenna do all the work. Alright. More bone fragments.